Week 6 of the Simulation Football League takes us to Denton, Texas for a matchup between two playoff teams from Season 16 who are trying to right the ship as the midway point of the year approaches here in Season 17. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Medal of Honor Field in Denton, Texas. Alongside producer extraordinaire Cameron Irvine, our statistician Tom Rahman, and my partner Mark Lopez, I'm Tim Hackett. You're watching the SFL live on Twitch. Happy to have you with us. We hit the midway mark in Season 17 after this weekend, Mark Lopez. And for these two and three teams, you get the feeling that this may well be a make-or-break game for both sides.
Absolutely, make or break indeed is the right term. For Charleston, they would have been 4-1 if not for the two most recent games, which have been very close, both concluding with 3 points for the loss. Lone Star Glory, definitely they wanted to claw their way back into the picture. They started the league or the season 2-0. They're now 2-3 after they started the season 2 losses, and with two back wins the last 3 games are looking good.
It's been a tale of 2 seasons for these two squads, but after playoff appearances for both of them a season ago, it's fair to say that the start to Season 17 has been a disappointment for both of these two teams. Well, it has been an eventful week across the world, to say the very least, and the folks at the Lone Star Glory, we're right on board with them here in the SFL. They have asked us to take a moment of silence as we honor the service members in the U.S. military who lost their lives earlier this week in Afghanistan. So please join us now for a moment of silence. Thank you, Charles Doherty and Cameron Irvine and company. We appreciate that gesture, and we are ready to go. Without any further ado, Lone Star against Charleston, a pair of 2 and 3 teams to round out this SFL Sunday showcase. Could be a make-or-break game for both sides. The winner improves to 3 and 3. The loser falls to 2 and 4 with only 6 games left to play until the playoffs arrive. Charleston will get the ball first, and we are underway from Denton, Texas. The Predators come out with their white tops, black bottoms, Lone Star in their all-blue get-ups. And Charleston will get the ball first, Mark Lopez. You mentioned it. They started the season off 2-0. They win against the Las Vegas Fury and the Louisiana Revolution, but 3 straight losses drops them down to 2 and 3 right here in the center of the pack, outside looking in. But those last couple of games for the Predators have been heartbreakers, games that could have gone either way. The veteran quarterback, the southpaw TD Drew, trying to help the Predators and company right the ship. The 100th carry of the season for running back Keith Swearingen is a good one. It goes for 6. Then he runs right into Albert Begin, one of the new members of this Lone Star secondary.
Yeah, absolutely. This is going to be a very interesting matchup today. Charleston, in my opinion, Tim, is an interesting case study of a team that has sort of middle of the road. Sure, they are third in points allowed this season, but also they are only scoring at the same rate as they are allowing, for a net 0 points for the season. So their offense got to pick up if they want to improve on their record so far.
Plenty of veterans all over this Charleston team, and here is one of them, Keith Swearingen, now in his 7th season, all with this Predator franchise. He gets just 1 there, and Jay Martin, who's on the other end of his SFL career, just his 2nd season, his first year here on the Lone Star defense after a standout rookie year last year with the Jacksonville Kings. He makes that stop, and an early 3rd down here for the Predators, which is something that they have been pretty good at this year. 51% middle of the pack in the SFL. 3rd and 3 for Drew, over the middle, wide open. It's caught for a first down by Buchanan Simons, one of the best big play wide receivers in the SFL, Mark. 2 of them are on display here, 1 on each side, and Simons the go-to man there on 3rd down.
Absolutely, and that was actually a great sequence of 3 plays for them. Hand the ball over to Swearingen, pick up some easy yards, cut it to 3rd and short, and they can easily convert on that. And that was a very easy first conversion of a 3rd down.
So Charleston converts the first 3rd down opportunity of the evening. And now they'll go back on the ground to Swearingen. He's got very little room, a pickup of 1. Mart is once again on the stop. Let's introduce you to the Charleston offense. So many veterans on this team. The consistency with the players for this Predator franchise is remarkable, especially when you consider the turnover in the front office and in the coaching staff over the last couple of years. But the consistency among the players on the field is remarkable. There's plenty of consistency in the SFL. Players like to stick with teams, but Charleston certainly one of the figureheads of that as Drew tries to toss it out to the top of the field. Terrell Sutherland, the newcomer on this offense, the fullback, was the target, but he can't haul it in. He's out of bounds. So here is the offense. The quarterback, TD Drew, his 6th year with the team. Keith Swearingen, the tailback, his 7th. The wide receivers, Buchanan Simons, Ken McCarro, and Jay Taylor. Tight end, Lyric Da Vinci. The fullback, you just saw him, Terrell Sutherland. And the offensive line is anchored by guard Fred Dukes, who has played tackle at different points in his Simulation Football League career. Another third down opportunity here for Charleston. This one a 3rd and 9. Drew floats it up. It's pulled in by Lyric Da Vinci, but he's well short of the sticks, Mark, and they needed 9. He only gets 5, and now a 4th down from across midfield.
Absolutely, and it's showing their struggles in offense, especially in the passing game. Even in their last game, only 193 air yards from TD Drew. So they definitely struggling throughout the season. I'm surprised they wouldn't hand it off to Keith Swearingen some more. Keith Swearingen averaging 5.4 yards a carry last game. He is bound to be a lethal weapon if utilized in the same way.
193 yards, as you said, Mark, on 30 pass attempts from TD Drew. So this pass offense has certainly not been electric over the course of the season when they don't target Buchanan Simons, who is one of the best deep play threats that this league has to offer. The punt from Wally Saddle rolls into the end zone. And so now the Lone Star offense, which compared to the Charleston offense, they've been known to be this big, flashy, big booming offense in the last couple of years, hasn't really worked out for them as often this season. But Ace Fennick is one of the best in the business. Shakes off a sack, can't get out of the second one. And a good stop on 1st down for the Charleston defense. They take down the 3rd-year signal caller for a loss. John Lawley, the rookie, with his 3rd career sack.
Well, sacked for a lot of times this season already. Ace Fennick just being sacked. He is like the 3rd most sacked quarterback in the league. So they got to improve in their protection for sure.
4-man rush this time. Fennick has all day. Bullets in. It's caught. That is more like it for Lone Star. Great link up over the middle, all the way out to the 45-yard line, and a big gain for Ziggy Hronick, the new member of this offense.
Well, Tim, you were saying their offense is not electric, but I'll tell you what it is. It's clean. The pass conversion percentage of Ace Fennick has been top-notch this season. He has the third best completion rate so far. So we're looking forward to a very clean game from him. Also, tied for the fewest interceptions.
It's usually like in the past, the last 2 years, Fennick's first 2 in the SFL, a lot of pass attempts, a lot of yards, a lot of interceptions. Not the case this year. He's been super efficient, and he's going to get taken down again. 2nd sack in 3 plays for the Predator defense.
Absolutely insane and incredible. Dick Baker just breaking through. Look at that. As if the offensive line was nothing.
Sacks have been hard to come by for both of these defenses. One of them had 8 through 5 weeks. The other, as a team, had 8.5, but 2 so far through 3 defensive plays for the Preds, 1 for each of their defensive linemen. Fennick will now toss it out to Ike McBride, or check that, that's Sudo Nakai, 35 in the Lone Star blue. Another new member of this Lone Star offense, the former standout tailback for Mark Lopez's Vancouver Legion, now the fullback here for Charles Doherty and company in Lone Star. He's got his 7th catch of the year.
And I believe that was Jack Brown plus another on the defensive play, which is a great reading that because he was wide open, but they closed out very quickly.
3rd down and 11 now for Lone Star. This is something they have struggled on this season. Over the middle, Fennick's pass is caught by Adam Williams, who did not have a catch last year. The veteran tight end on this team, now his 3rd season in the league. Hronick is just in his 2nd season, but Ziggy's kind of outshined Adam Williams over the course of this season. Big gain for Adam there, a gain of 10, but he needed 11, and so Lone Star will now have to punt.
And guess what? It's all because of those sacks. But they're lining up to go for this.
Never mind. I thought they brought the punter out, but now they'll bring out the offense on 4th and 1. What do you think?
I mean, the way it looks like, the pacing, they might just try to force them to go get a penalty, but it's not going to work. Discipline's too good.
You're right. As usual, Mark Lopez, Charleston does not jump, and so Lone Star will have to burn a timeout here almost exactly halfway the first quarter. I ask everybody that I'm privileged to announce games with here in the SFL this question, Mark. What do you think about that play? I call it the bait and switch. We see it about every other game, it feels like, in the SFL. What do you think about the strategy behind that? The
strategy is understandable at the worst. The disappointing though because, you know, as a spectator, you really want to see them go for it. It's 1 yard. You have Ike McBride, who is a pretty decent back as well, and 1 yard seems very doable. I'm surprised more teams aren't going for it.
Yeah, agreed with you on there. You got a stud running back in Ike McBride, who's a power back, and Shuto Nakai now a rostered fullback. So you've got two players that are more than able to give a team 1 yard. And from right across midfield, they decide to punt it to Jay Taylor, who has been one of the busiest punt return men in the SFL so far, a former tight end. He's now the wide receiver 3 here for Charleston in their kick and punt returner. He's actually second in the league in punt returns. That's his 18th of the season. So on the first offensive possessions, each team picks up 1 first down, and then they have to punt it away. And so Charleston will start off their second possession from the 20. Split backs at a tight end for TD Drew. Sees pressure and flips it out to the top of the field. That's Swearingen out of the backfield, and a gain of 4 for the 7th-year man. They have now been playing together here for the Predators for 6 seasons, and a gain of 4 through the sky.
Keith Swearingen had the moniker of Cheetah back in the day, looking really quick on that one as well. But yeah, good first play on the drive, and those kind of plays will just shorten the distance to a first down conversion.
Just a good way to start to set the tone on a possession and a gain of 4. Drew drops back, fires over the middle into coverage, and it's picked off right into the hands of Al Begin. That's the way that drive ends. The 4th interception this season, the 5th for the 4th-year man from Rhode Island, and a takeaway for the Glory on their second possession.
This looks like deja vu to me. TD Drew throwing an interception, a very old chapter in the TD Drew story this season. He is very unfortunate to throw a lot of interceptions already, and already early in this game. Not a good start.
Something that has plagued him his whole career, Mark. There's no doubt about it. Lifetime TD Drew entering today, 90 touchdown passes, 120 interceptions. Math even I can do. 30 more picks than touchdowns in his SFL career, and he's already won in the negative so far here in the first quarter. Fennec trying to take advantage. He fires and it's picked off. Back-to-back interceptions, and Charleston will take it right back. It's Josh Reese.
Oh, what a great play. And that's defensive teamwork at its finest, a deflection, and then picking it up for an interception right there. You got to give credit to the man covering the receiver right there for an incredible deflection. But yeah, back to the TD Drew. He bailed out by his defense, basically.
Number 22 in the blue makes a pick, and then seconds later, number 22 in the white makes a pick, and Charleston is right back on the 20-yard line where they were 20 seconds ago. They'll give it to Keith Swearingen, and he is snowed up in the backfield. Great stop by Jukin Rukin, the veteran defensive end.
Yeah, and you can see that they're really focusing on stopping the running of the running of Charleston right there, just pouring in the defensive pressure. Keith Swearingen really good this season. He has the 9th most carries in the league so far, a solid 382 yards, so pretty solid to stop him right there.
At 9th most carries, but only 14th most yards, and so the 19th best yards per carry average, and you get a little dose of that right here. He goes negative 2 yards on his first 2 carries, and Tina Begin, Al's wife, the other Rhode Islander, makes the stop. Back-to-back TFLs.
And you got a question, Tim. You see he has a lot of carries this season. You wonder if perhaps the front line is sort of letting him down, not allowing him space to get more yards, being that low in average yards per carry.
3rd and 12, another big test for the Preds. Drew has time, floats it, and it's caught. Jay Taylor with a step behind the defense, and he's taken down into enemy territory. What a pickup that time for Drew. The first-year wideout, Jay Taylor, comes through.
TD Drew has the guts of a beast. After the interception just 3 plays ago, including the Lone Star drive, just throws a massive beast of a pass. And yeah, you're right. What a pickup by Jay Taylor. In his first year, picks up a long one for his team and erases any notion that their passing offense is struggling.
Gain of 38 on 3rd and 12, Tom Rahman telling us. What a way to move the sticks. Now from the I formation in 2 wides, a very typical Charleston formation. Swearingen gets the give, and he picks up 1. Let's introduce you to the Lone Star defense. The defensive line, Jukin Rukin, Yogi Barr, Tina Begin, and Boba Caudill. Linebackers, Freddie Trammell and Jay Martin. The secondary, corners, Mickey McGuire, Bo Martin Jr., safeties, Evan Lacey, Albert Begin and Nate Hall. Lone Stars had to do a lot of work in the offseason, almost completely remaking and reshaping this defense. Some good effects, some bad effects so far, 5 games in. Drew under pressure, down he goes. First sack of the game for Lone Star, and these two defensive lines have come to play. Tina Begin's got another.
Absolutely, and you saw that pressure as TD Drew was stepping back. The defensive line, Tina Begin was right next to him as he was still stepping back. That's how incredible this defensive pressure is.
I think Al Begin said in the chat, friend of the program, he said the Begins are here to play so far in this game, and that is certainly true. Another stop in the backfield for Tina. 3rd and 13, Drew floats it up, and it's caught! Another gain on 3rd and forever. This time it's Ken McCarro. Charleston's got another first down.
But the way they drew this playbook is probably TD Drew. We know you're throwing interceptions, but still throw. Let your teammates, let your receivers make the play, and boy, are these receivers making the play.
24 yards through the air there for Ken McCarr. You see Drew already up to 77 yards. Didn't even hit 200 last week in Charleston's loss against the Fort Worth Toros, a game in which they only scored 1 touchdown as a team. 1st and 10. Here's the give to Swearingen. Step over by Swearingen. And a gain of 6 that time. That's a better way to start. Albert Begin on the stop.
Yep, a good way to start indeed. One of his better runs so far in his few carries this game. But 6 yards, you want to see that from him most of the time for sure. Even if you can get 3 or 4 yards, it's pretty good. But 6 yards solid. They are way inside the red zone already.
Remember, he averages fewer than 4 yards per carry. Most running backs in the SFL average at least 4.5. 2nd and 4 now from the 16. The closest either team has been. They'll give it to Swearingen again, and he is blown up again. Great one-on-one tackle by Nate Hall, the new addition to this Lone Star defense. He wasn't used all that much last season in Vancouver, Mark. Tough to be used when you're playing in a secondary that you play in, and he comes over to Lone Star, and he has shown out.
Yeah, absolutely. He's showing his athleticism. He managed to get to Swearingen before the block arrived, and what a play right there.
First tackle for loss of the season for Hall. Drew over the middle. It's caught. Another first down. Another pickup on 3rd down on this drive, and it's to the 3rd different receiver, Lyric Da Vinci.
Man, Drew's playing lights out tonight. Despite that interception, he's already 6 of 8 in this game, 75%. For almost 100 yards already, and he is, in this drive especially, he has not dropped a single pass.
It's crazy how spread out this Charleston offense has been so far this year. 30-plus catches for Simons and McCarl, 14 catches for Taylor, 15 for Da Vinci. Everybody has gotten involved so far in this game. From the 3, here's Swearingen to the goal line. He lost the ball. Going for career touchdown number 50. He loses it, and Lone Star's got it.
Oh, no. Oh,
what
no.
a way to end this drive.
Absolutely. A wasted opportunity. You're so close to a touchdown and putting points on the board. Opportunity to get that 50 touchdown milestone. But no. What a great defensive play by Charleston. They poured in, applied enough force to knock the ball out of Swearingen's hands. And oh boy, Lone Stars got the ball running on their side. Sorry, Charleston's got the ball running on their side now.
Evan Lacey was the one who forced it. We've got claims for Yogi Barr and Nate Hall on the recovery from the 1-yard line. First carry of the game for Ike McBride, and that's what she can do. She has really developed into a strong power back, Mark. She's a running back that can do a little bit of everything. They give it to her on the 1, and that's the way to get some daylight. We're done with 1 already from Denton. Wild action from both sides. The Predators stopped at the goal line. This is the Simulation Football League presented by 8 p.m. Music live on Twitch. Happy to have you with us. Alongside Mark Lopez with Tom Rahman running the stats and Cameron Irvine running the show. Tim Hackett here with you live from Medal of Honor Field. Our pleasure to be here with you. Both teams will quickly switch ends of the field. Lone Star on just their 2nd possession of the game. Charleston milked a ton of clock, didn't get any points. McBride on the carry, nowhere for her to go. Let's introduce you to the Lone Star offense. Ace Fennick, the quarterback. Ike McBride, the tailback. Sudo Nakai is the fullback. Wide receivers, Dave Axis, Deuce Fennick, and Greg Soto. A pair of tight ends. You've heard from both of them already. Adam Williams and Ziggy Ronick. And the offensive line is anchored by guard Rylan Caudill, but his brother Bobo is no longer a member of this offensive line. He switched over to play defensive line in the offseason. Have an interesting change. 3rd and 2, here's McBride. 3 straight carries for Ike, and she delivers. She picks up a total of 14 yards on those 3 carries, and the Glory have some breathing room.
And you called her power running back. You are absolutely correct. Ike McBride, the type of running back who you put two bodies on her and she still keeps those legs churning. And a Lone Star putting two bodies on her right now. Sorry, Charleston putting two bodies on her, and that's how you take her down. You need more than one person to tackle her.
She's very difficult to bring down. Fresh set of downs for the Glory. Fennec will flip it out of the backfield. There's McBride. Neither of these running backs are used all that much as pass catchers. McBride averages about 5 catches per game. Swearingen about 4. First catch of this game for Ike, and it goes for a gain of 5.
I mean, when you're so good down the middle, which is Ike McBride's specialty, you don't really have to throw it to her often, but you're right. It would have been a nice option for these quarterbacks.
Plenty of teams in this league employ that strategy. Neither of these teams do that often. McBride again on the give, picks up just 1, stopped by safety John Stamengo. And we mentioned that McBride is really this bruiser back, but frankly, Lone Star didn't really use her very much through 4 weeks. She was averaging fewer than 20 carries per game through those first 4 weeks of the season. Last week, she picks up 29 attempts, 111 yards, and a touchdown, by far a season high in carries for Ike. And maybe no coincidence that Lone Star won that game last week against Sioux Falls. 3rd and 4. Do they go to her? They sure do. And she stops short. Great play on defense by Charleston. McBride gets just 2. Couple of members were there, including Jack Brown, one of the best tacklers in the SFL.
Yep, and Charleston scouting, making the same scouting report as you just made about the previous game of Lone Star, seeing Ike McBride's potentness on the running game with those 29 carries, 111 yards, and stopping her right there, focusing on her. They knew that she was going to be the focal point.
Here's a focal point. Jay Taylor has been tremendous returning punts. Nobody was on to block it, and he's got his first career punt return touchdown. Charleston strikes first. Jay Taylor does it.
Oh, man, we were so focused on the running backs, but the secret heroes of this game are the people playing special teams right now, and what a way to put points on the board.
Mentioned he's been fantastic at punt returns so far this season. 2nd in attempts, 5th in yards, but no touchdowns until that play right there. Nobody was on to block that kick from William Zuderveld, Mark. I mean, I was going to say this at the time. He had all day to send it away. Charleston was ready to play prevent, if you will, and try to pave the way for Jay Taylor, and pave the way they did. What a play.
Yeah, also, there weren't a lot of people, as you said, there weren't a lot of people to pick him up. So I wonder if, they were fooled and they were on the wrong side of the field. It's very, very interesting how that turned out.
He strikes with his first career kick return or punt return touchdown. Again, a former tight end, switched out to wide receiver, kind of a philosophy shift for Charleston in the offseason. In the past, they ran 2 wide receivers, 2 tight ends. You can construct your offense really however you want here in the SFL. That was a pretty unique look. Buchanan Simons and Ken McCarrow were the 1-2 punches on the outside for years, but with a new head coach, Jacob Clear, a new ownership, a whole new front office change in the offseason for the Preds. They go with an offensive philosophy change, move Jay Taylor out to the wide receiver spot, and hasn't paid immediate dividends, as we've said, Mark. They're just 2-3 through 5 weeks, but you see the reason why. They've changed Taylor's build. He's very fast, whatever, and clearly he's very good at returning kicks and punts.
Yeah, and sometimes special teams are also part of the team, and they are the X factor. Definitely a huge X factor on that one play.
So Lone Star, after playing very well on defense so far through a quarter plus, finds themselves down 7-0 after the special teams touchdown. And Fennec will come back out, toss it out to Ike McBride, breaks through 1 tackle, tries to get back into the middle of the field and picks up 6. Here is the Charleston defense, the defensive line. You heard from them early and often. Dick Baker, John Lawley, and Joseph Sabolka, a pair of linebackers. These two have played together for 5 years now. Jack Brown and Jack Hoffman, and 6 standouts in the secondary. Corners Johnny Bravo and Corey Menner. Safeties Josh Reese, Zach Lay, John Stamengo, and Tommy Zanardi. That secondary has been excellent for the Predators so far this season. The 32. Fennec this way on an out route. That's caught for a first down. That talk about towing the line. Dave Axis has his first catch of the game.
And we have it. This is probably the first time we were calling his name, but Dave Axis, an incredible connection between Ace Fennec and him. Incredible. He is one of definitely Fennec's favorite targets, especially in the last game. Over 100 yards receiving. Just an incredible player.
We talked about Simons on the other side for Charleston, and Dave Axis has staked his claim to the title of best big play wide receiver in the SFL. Oh, McBride gets clotheslined, picks up just one. What's interesting about this Lone Star offense, Mark, and we've talked about this like in the past, how they've been this big flashy team. Jack Brown with another tackle, big surprise. All three of their standout wide receivers have the ability to turn catches into big plays. I've seen it from all three of them over the last couple of years. Deuce Fennick has kind of been the possession guy this year, but he can go off. Dave Axis goes off almost every time. Last week, just another example of that. More on that as we go along. From the 40 on 2nd and 9, Fennick this way. The pass is bobbled and dropped. Wow, right when we were talking about Dave Axis, that could have been another huge play for the Diva. Instead, it's a drop.
Absolutely, and you saw his disappointment with his own drop right there. And not a good not a good showing for him. Wow. But this is not going to be, this is not going to put him down. We're going to see more from him this game. He's going to make big plays. And you said big plays. These players make big plays.
Well, talk about wide open. I mean, that would have been a gain of at least 20. Instead, it's a gain of 0. Last week, Axis 123 receiving yards on 3 catches. An average of 41 yards per reception. 39. Fennick bullets it, pass is caught, but short of the sticks. The Glory go once again. That's another catch for Adam Williams, his second of the game. That brings up a 4th and 1 from midfield.
Yeah, Lone Star going to have to put back their defense out on the field. Fortunately for them, besides the punt return for touchdown, they have been holding back this Charleston offense to 0 points still through 1.5 quarters.
We want to talk about how much a team can change from week to week. Look at what Lone Star has done through a 1.5, yes, but a totally different change. Complete change, I should say, as Jay Taylor calls for and makes a fair catch. Last week, Mark, as Lone Star defeated Sioux Falls, Ace Fennick threw for 284 yards. 272 of those passing yards went to his 3 wide receivers, Axis, Deuce Fennick, and Greg Soto. So far in this game, those wide receivers have 0 catches. Every catch has been made by either one of the tight ends or one of the running backs, Nakai and McBride. Crazy change. Charleston now with the ball after they have taken the lead despite not scoring on offense, and a quick hitter this way. TD Drew links up with Ken McCarr.
And Ken McCarr, also another key player in this Charleston offense. In the previous game, had 83 yards, led the team on receiving yards. Looking to be another pivotal player for the Charleston offense in this game, and definitely one of TD Drew's favorite targets as well.
We've sung Buchanan Simon's praises, deservedly so far in this game, but last week was a surprising dud for him, though again, Drew didn't even throw for 200 yards. 2nd and 7, Drew will throw this way, caught again by McCarro. Similar looking plays, he stays upright that time, picks up 4. Last week, Simon's 4 catches for 24 yards. Both of those have to be season lows, and like you said, McCarro was the team's leading receiver, 5 for 83.
Yeah, and you were saying not getting 200 yards last game, TD Drew. When you throw those kind of short passes, you're not going to get a lot of yards. But for this team, if they can convert on first downs because of those, they'll take it.
Manageable 3rd and 2 here for Charleston. 5.5 to go until halftime. Drew will check it down. Out of the backfield, Swearingen as daylight accelerates. First down and a whole lot more for the man they call Cool Keith Swearingen. That's a nice pickup on 3rd and short.
And I did say because sometimes those kind of plays, when you throw it off to your safety valve 2-3 seconds into the play, a lot of times there's a defensive back already there to prevent any forward momentum, but not for Swearingen. He found a lot of open space, and Lone Star just gave him the space. Interesting.
A lot of running room after the catch for Swearingen, who, like we said, does not catch a lot of passes, only 83 receiving yards through 5 weeks and no touchdowns. 1 touchdown, beg your pardon. 1st and 10, they'll go on the ground to Swearingen, and he is stopped up once again. They'll give him forward progress, a gain of 1. Tough break for the Lone Star defense because there were 3 members of the Glory right on top of him, including Jay Mart, the second-year backer from Milwaukee.
Absolutely, and linebackers making tackles almost at the line of scrimmage, almost behind the line of scrimmage. Just the quickness and speed that they go in to fill up any gaps in their line.
Two of the best tackling linebackers in the SFL on display here today, Jay Mart and Jack Brown. Here's 2nd and 9, and again, they'll run it outside this time for Swearingen. He's got nowhere to go. Freddie Trammell says, anything you can do, I can do better. There's a good stop for the middle linebacker.
Absolutely, and yeah, you're right. Nowhere to go. They probably have done their homework on all the routes that Swearingen likes to make. any spins that he tries to make on the outside. They got it all covered, and they got it covered here.
Third year with Lone Star Freddie Trammell, his 5th season overall in the SFL. They're in an 8 for Drew. He'll float it this way.
Oh!
It's caught by Macaro, a step behind the defense, and Ken Magaro is gone. 60-yard touchdown, and Charleston extends the lead. What a play.
Boy, oh boy, Macaro showing up today. And TD Drew, we said we were concerned with his first interception earlier on this game. Well, don't be concerned anymore, especially if you're a fan of Charleston, because boy, that was an incredible pass. Above the defender and the pocket of Ken Macaro. Great play and great conversion.
Anybody playing against Charleston, Mark, knows that Buchanan Simons is wont to do something like that every single week. But if they can get big plays from Ken Macaro as well, it just makes this Charleston team so much more dynamic. It's not a word that you use to describe this Preds offense very much, dynamic, but if you have Macaro make plays like that every once in a while, this team can be tough to scout against.
Absolutely. That impact, and already we saw in the season before this game, him and Buchanan Simons have almost the equal amount of of receptions in the season. So it wasn't a matter of throw more to Macaro. It was a matter of make Macaro make bigger plays. And that was a great play. That was a big play from him on that one.
You're exactly right. I mean, coming into this game, Simons 31 catches, Macaro 30, but Simons had over 150 more receiving yards on that one extra catch compared to what Macaro has. So it's just a totally different philosophy, totally different skill set that those two wideouts typically bring to the game. But so far today, 2 catches for Simons, 11 yards, 3 catches for Macaro, 89 yards, and that 60-yard touchdown. So they've really kind of shifted roles so far here through a quarter plus.
Yep. And speaking of shifting of roles, we're back to the Lone Star Glory, whose offense has been passing to the tight ends and their running backs, surprisingly, compared to what they usually do.
1 catch for Dave Axis, that's it. No other wideouts have a catch. Will Fennec go somewhere else? He will target a wideout, and it's caught by Greg Soto right on cue. His first catch of the ball game, tiptoes the sidelines, and he moves the sticks for Lone Star.
Yep, tiptoes he did. That was a great athletic show right there. Picks it up and just enough to get an additional 2 or 3 more yards. That's what you want to see from your wideouts, and they might start throwing to their wideouts more in this drive and this possession. Tim, I think, after seeing in their previous few drives, not successful with their initial game plan.
Charleston defense has been fantastic against the pass so far this season. 3rd fewest passing yards allowed through 5 weeks, and all 6 standouts in their secondary have at least 1 interception. Many teams can say that. On the ground, they'll go to McBride, breaks through 1 tackle and picks up 3. But the running game, the running defense for this Preds defense has left a lot to be desired. We mentioned 3rd best pass defense, 3rd worst rush defense. They give up 119 rushing yards per game. Only 2 teams in the league gave up more through 5 weeks. Lone Star on offense, 9th best rushing attack with Ike McBride and Suna Nakai. Is that a matchup that Lone Star can exploit? The 42. Fennec has all day. It's hit top. The screen is picked off right into the hands of the defensive back. Corey Menner responds after giving up that play to Soto. He's got another interception.
Very uncharacteristic from Ace Fennec. Only had 6 interceptions this season, and that is number 7 for the season, I believe. Sorry, that would be number 8, because that would be his 2nd one this game. So already almost 30% of his total this season. Not a good showing from him. I did mention earlier in this game, he is very good. He has a very clean game. Not looking very clean on that one.
He had all day to throw. There was no pressure. You mentioned the offensive line needed to be better in this game. They were on that play, and it still results in a pick for Ace Fennec. On the ground, Keith Swearingen trying to get Charleston back in forward progress. He picks up 4. I mean, to your point, Mark, Ace Fennec only threw 5 picks through 5 weeks. You may be thinking that sounds like a lot, but in the SFL, it really isn't. I mean, most quarterbacks in the league through 5 weeks have thrown 9 or 10 or even more interceptions through 5 games. And so the fact that Ace only threw 5 is incredible. It's tied for the fewest in the league with AJ Caswell, but he's already thrown 2 through the first 2 quarters. Drew will check it down. Swearingen picks up 3.
Yep, and TD Drew back on the field, ready to carry on the momentum of the previous drive where he made that incredible pass for a touchdown. And already a good start as well. 3rd and 3, another short, 3rd and short for another easy conversion potentially from him and his crew.
We weren't sure if we would see this milestone hit until the 4th quarter in this game, Mark, but TD Drew already making moves here as we tick down towards 2 minutes left in the first half. On the ground, Swearingen is looking for some milestones of his own. He won't get there. Freddie Trammell rips him down from behind. That brings up a 4th down from across midfield. Decision time here for the Preds on offense, and it looks like they'll send out Wally Saddle. Will. This is right about the area of the field, Mark, where Lone Star brought out the offense and ran the bait and switch, but Charleston will just run a straight-up punt as we hit the 2-minute mark. Here's Fennick ready for the return. It bounces, and Charleston will stop it at the 5. What a play by the Charleston special teams. 95 yards to go for Lone Star and 1:55 left until halftime. This is the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music, live on Twitch. Happy to have you with us from Medal of Honor Field in Denton, Texas. Tim Hackett and Mark Lopez here with you live. The milestone we mentioned for TD Drew, he has surpassed 16,000 passing yards in his SFL career. An impressive achievement for the 6th-year signal caller. Here goes Ike McBride. They gave it to her when the Lone Star was in this spot of the field last time, Mark. They go to her again and a pickup of 5.
Yep, and a solid pickup for her, one of her better ones in this game. Already 8 attempts in this game, only for 26. That's only 3.3 yards per carry, a little under her usual, but still, you still want to give it to her if she can give you those solid runs.
He's really developed over the last couple of years. Now her 3rd year out of Albuquerque. Here she goes again, and again, Charleston is able to stop her after a short gain right on cue, Mark. 3.2 yards per carry. She averages 4.2, middle of the pack in the SFL through 5 games. We mentioned this might be the avenue for Lone Star. The Charleston pass defense has been so good. They've already picked off Fennick twice, so maybe they go to the ground to try to exploit what has been a weak run defense, but so far, so good for Charleston in both phases. 3rd down and 2 under a minute to go. How aggressive did the Glory get? Here goes McBride, breaks through a tackle and gets the 1st down. Now let's see how quick they decide to move.
Absolutely, and even though this is a 1st down, even though that was a key play, if you're Charleston, you're happy with it because that just chews time on the clock. You give Lone Star less of an opportunity to go down the field and probably make a score. So you're happy for this if you're Charleston defense.
30 seconds left in the first half now. The 16-yard line, split backs for Fennick. I'll give again to McBride. 4th straight carry for her. Breaks out of a tackle, lowers the shoulder on another, and picks up 7. A monumental gain of 7 for Ike McBride. She had to go through 5 Predators to do that.
Absolutely. She just pushed away 2 defenders on her way to that 7 yards before being taken down by 2 people. That's power running on display right there.
Lone Star might not run another play, though. They will. They'll snap it with 1. They'll go to McBride again, and just a little bit of stat padding for the Charleston defense. McBride runs right into Tommy Zanardi, and he'll take that, Mark. He only had 2 tackles through 5 weeks, so he gets a free tackle of Ike McBride as we've officially hit the end of the first half here from Denton. The Preds on the road with a 14-0 lead. Impressive first half defensively for Charleston, Mark. I mean, look at these numbers.
Wow.
Pretty close, but 120 total yards of offense for Lone Star. That's pretty surprising.
Absolutely, that is very crazy. I mean, I know we said earlier that Ace Fennick not known for throwing a lot of yards per game, but only down to 70 so far. That is very low. That is, you gotta give credit to this defense right here by Charleston. Just the pressure, the 2 interceptions that they've gotten on him. He was sacked twice early in the first quarter. So they're just giving him a lot of looks, preventing him, making him make those mistakes, forcing him to make those mistakes. And, a lot of those are credit to Charleston's defense. On the other side of the field, TD Drew just came back out of his interception and came out and changed then. One touchdown so far only, but man, you gotta give credit to how well he's been throwing.
Really, the difference in this game, Mark, the stats were relatively close. 2 big plays. You see them right there. The punt return for 6 by Jay Taylor, and then this play, the 60-yard touchdown link-up from TD Drew to Ken Maccaro. So a punt return of about 55 yards, a pass of about 60 yards. That's the difference so far in this game. Other than that, really not a ton on offense from these two teams, which I guess we aren't really surprised by. These two offenses have struggled over the course of this season. In Charleston, 17th in total yards. Lone Star, 19th in total yards. Lone Star, 15th in total points. Charleston, 21st in total points. So these two offenses have struggled over the balance of the season. But the question for Charleston, I feel, for the last few years, Mark, through a bunch of different coaches, whatever, defense, everybody knows, is fantastic. They have been one of the best defensive teams in the league for the last couple of years in almost all facets. The question always has been, can the offense keep up? And so far, thanks to those two big plays, they haven't just kept up, they've set the pace against Lone Star.
Absolutely, and now Lone Star is going to have to make the most out of the second half, make a few tweaks. Definitely one of the bigger tweaks is going to be their decision making on their pass play. Just Ace Fennec has got to make better decisions in those passes, and we know him to make good decisions, but I guess he's been rattled the first half.
Last game of this SFL Sunday Showcase. There's one other one still in action over on the For the Fans Twitch page. You can catch that game with Josh Circle and Stephen Hacker, twitch.tv/FTF next. First play of the second half. Mike McBride breaks out of a tackle, breaks out of another one. She's off to the races. Only one man can stop her. She breaks out of that one from Johnny Bravo. Ike McBride will into the end zone. Wow, a sachet at the end of the run. And on one play in the second half, Lone Star is on the board.
I mean, with that kind of a run, she deserved to do that at the end. Oh my goodness, broke 3 tackles on her, including that last one, and had the time of her day to make that one easy peasy, lemon squeezy. My goodness.
Never seen that in the SFL, I don't think. That saunter, the last 3 yards. Yeah, at least she didn't drop the ball before crossing the goal line. I was afraid we were about to see that.
Might be your diva of the week right there, just for that one play.
I think she might have the inside track on that, considering who she's teammates with.
Absolutely.
67-yard touchdown run for Ike McBride. She's now over 500 rushing yards on the season in this 6th game of the year. And what were we just talking about? Plays. Charleston had a couple, right, in the first half when they had 3rd down and long. And that one drive before the fumble on the goal line by Keith Swearingen, they had a couple of chunk plays on offense. But other than that, neither of these two teams had moved the ball all that much. 3 big plays constitute the 3 scoring plays in this game. That's crazy.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And it's just the drives that resulted in points were with a few plays. The first touchdown pass by TD Drew was in a drive that only had 6 plays. This one, only 1 play. And, we had the punt return. That was technically a 0 play. I guess you can consider that a play.
Wasn't even a drive.
No. Incredible.
This game is just wacky. And with two teams that are evenly matched, in my opinion, in a lot of ways, Mark, I mean, I'm surprised the over-under is as high as it is, considering how much these two offenses have struggled. But if this game opens up, watch out. We know Lone Star can shoot it out with the best of them. Drew will throw it out this way. Short gain. Oh, and he bowls over a man on the sideline. This is Terrell Sutherland, the rookie fullback, and not making a lot of friends over there on the Lone Star bench.
I mean, when Ike McBride shows such disrespect on the end zone, I don't think a lot of friends are going to be made between these two teams.
Their game in action right now. It's a tight one. Mexico City at St. Louis. That could be a pivotal matchup. 4-1 Mexico City against 2-3 St. Louis. Catch that game with Josh Circle and Stephen Hacker over on the FTF Next Twitch page. Here goes Swearingen trying to answer. Cuts outside, and a great run for Cool Keith Swearingen. Begin on the stop. Best run of the day for Swearingen.
Best run, and what amazing blocks he had in front of him. And not only were they great blocks, but just kind of run to take opportunity at those blocks. 2 right there. The last one unable to break away from the tackle, but Swearingen showing up finally.
And Sutherland had the block on Al Begin, and Begin was able to shake Sutherland off, the fullback. That's hard to do, and then make the tackle. If Sutherland was able to hold that block, Swearingen might have had an extra 5-10 yards after that. From midfield, first down, they'll go to Swearingen again. Tries to cut outside and gets just 3 that time. Much better play by the Charleston defense. Hey, you're watching the Simulation Football League live on Twitch, and coverage of the SFL 17th season on Next Level Sports continues at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time next Saturday with the clash on I-35 between the Fort Worth Toros and the Lone Star Glory, who you're watching right now. Bonus coverage has the Arizona Scorpions traveling to visit the Pacific-leading Los Angeles Vikings. It all comes your way next Saturday on Next Level Sports. Two really impressive, important games. You never know. 2nd and 7. This way over the middle. Drew goes. It's caught by Lyric Da Vinci in a pickup of just a couple. Lyric had 3 catches for 41 yards last week, and he's already got a couple so far in this game. That's his 3rd today.
Yeah, again, this is a very similar story to their first half where, Keith Swearingen takes a few yards, D.D. Drew throws for a few yards, and then again, 3rd and short. Story of this game, 3rd and short, and they convert on it.
Here he goes, 3rd and short. Swearingen to the give. He runs right into Freddie Trammell, and Jay Mart steps up to help bring him down. These 2 linebackers for Lone Star step up to make the play. 4th down and 3 coming up, a loss of 1.
They knew to bring the personnel, and bring the personnel they did. Stop Swearingen on his tracks, and yeah, as he said, great defensive play. Trammell as well. A very quick read on that, even before the ball was snapped, it looked like.
We mentioned Jay Mart, one of the best tacklers in the SFL coming into action today. 54 stops. That was 6th best in the SFL. But this is just how close almost all the leaderboards are, as Wally Saddle's punt will bounce and will go into the end zone. Charleston couldn't quite keep it out. And Zach Lay, one of the safeties, down to try to stop it. He was not able to do so. But here's how close these standings are, Mark. Jay Mart, 6th in the league with 54 tackles. Freddie Trammell had 51 tackles, so 3 fewer, and he's in 11th. So all of those guys in between 6th and 11th, separated by just 3 tackles, entering action today, of course. So it's just a logjam in the top 20 on the linebacker leaderboards. There are a ton of good ones in this league. Fennick now on 1st and 10, deep drop, floats it up, and it's caught. That's the big play offense that Lone Star has flashed over the past couple of years, and it's the tight end, Adam Williams, who makes the play.
I mean, the way they've come out of the second half is just making me speechless, Tim. In 2 plays, they've had, what is this? 96 yards in 2 plays.
Yeah, gain of 29 through the sky there for Williams. He's got 3 catches for 43 yards. Coming into today, 7 catches for 76 yards all season. He did not have a catch last week as Lone Star beat Sioux Falls. And Ziggy Ronick, the other tight end, had just 1 catch. Total paradigm shift, like we said. From midfield, Fennick into coverage. That could have been picked. There were 2 wide receivers there, but somehow he threw it to the guy wearing the wrong colored jersey, and John Stamengo could have had the takeaway.
That is what you call, or I don't know if you call it, but it's because of the pressure in the middle, almost like he was pressured by the sack and threw it away towards the defender. He's just happy that wasn't an interception, Tim, because that would have been number 3 for Ace Fennick.
Which would be a season high, no question, and would have stopped this drive in its tracks. 2nd and 10, Fennick floats it up again into coverage, and it's swatted down once again. This time, roles were reversed. There were 2 white shirts there against 1 offensive player, and it was swatted down by Corey Menner, who already has a takeaway today.
And that makes it an interesting decision from Fennick, throwing it towards 2 white players. I guess that's how much trust he had in his receiver to make a play. Unfortunately, if you don't allow your receiver to make a play because of how underthrown the pass was, that's going to end up the way it did here.
Lone Star's 3 standout wide receivers have combined for 2 catches so far. 3rd and 10. Fennick through the hands of one of the wideouts. That's Ross McGinnis. That's not one of their 3 standouts, Mark. They've got 3 of the best. Fennick tried to go somewhere else, and it comes back to bite him.
I know, and Ace Fennick not looking too hot. This game overall, only 64.3%, and in the last 3 throws from him, all incompletion, 3 straight incompletions. So Ace Fennick, although an electric 29 yards to start this drive, not showing much more.
You mentioned at the top, Ace Fennick, one of the best completion percentages in the SFL. He hasn't thrown it quite as much this year as he has in the last couple of years, but better than 75.5% completion, 3rd best in the SFL through 5 weeks. So far today, under 65%. That is not good in a league in which almost every quarterback throws at least 70% completion or better.
Yep.
Now the Charleston offense will take back over. And something else you mentioned earlier, Mark, it's so interesting to me how this works out for Charleston. They come in at 2-3, as we've said. Through 5 weeks, the offense has scored 101 points. The defense has allowed 101 points. The exact same number on both sides through 5 weeks. That is crazy. And it's part of the reason why they're 2-3. Swearingen picks up just one. We mentioned milestone watch for him. He's now officially at 38 rushing yards, 2.1 yards per carry. So he needs another 100 plus to get over 7,000 in his career. And his next rushing touchdown will be number 50. So it's going to be tough work for him to break that 7K mark the way that this game has gone for him so far. I formation for Drew. 7 minutes left in the third quarter. Sidearms slinging it over the middle. It's a short gain. That's Ken McCarroll, and that's more like it for Ken McCarroll. That's what he normally does for this Charleston offense.
Yep, those short passes to him, very reliable, very used a lot, and sometimes when you're in a tough situation, 2nd and 10, go with what you're used to. Go with what's reliable.
Terrell Sutherland did not have any touches, carries, or catches last week as Charleston lost to Fort Worth, but he's already got one catch. He's been targeted a couple of times. They will throw it here on 3rd and 4. Out route to the top. McCarroll has it.
Wow.
First down, Charleston. What a play.
What a play indeed. The toe tapping to keep himself in and make that catch for a first down. And yeah, TD Drew and his crew, the Drew crew, playing on another level right now.
Just the way they drew it up. Oh,
I'll give the point to you.
I was trying to avoid that. I'm sorry, folks at home. I'm sorry. From the 33-yard line, clock running. Here goes Swearingen. Hold this time for Swearingen, and then it closes up. It looked like daylight for him, but he ends up getting just 3.
It may be just 3, but it is still 3 out of the first down. No, 2nd and 7. Again, it is going to be the way they've played this game out, the way they drew it up on the board, so to say. You know, just give us some quick, easy yards and make it a 3rd and short situation.
That's really the Charleston MO. Just move the ball down the field, matriculate it, if you will. But so far, they're failing that class as they go backwards. Another tackle in the backfield for Lone Star. Coming out of the defensive backfield is Nate Hall. Another big play for him. His 4th TFL. Well, he had 3 TFLs coming into action. He's got a couple of them here today.
Yeah, Nate Hall, just a key player defensively. He was also a key player in the defensive hold in their comeback last week. And showing up here as well.
Renee Drew floats it up near side.
Oh!
Simons with a step behind the defense, and Buchanan Simons says goodbye. Another big play for Charleston. Their 3rd of the game, 62 yards that time, and the Preds extend the lead.
Absolutely incredible. I don't think I've seen a score this game that has not been under 50 yards. Everything seems like it was a 50-yard passing touchdown. The punt return almost seemed like it was behind the midfield. And boy, just the highlight. This is a high-flying game indeed, Tim.
You're right. Every score has been a big play. That punt return for Jay Taylor was about 55 yards, 60 yards to McCarroll, 62 for Simons. What was it, 67 on the ground for Ike McBride?
McBride, yep.
So you're right. Every scoring play has been on a big play. That's crazy. That brings TD Drew up to 250 passing yards a week after he didn't even top 200.
Yep.
Underlying storyline here, Brad Breckett, the kicker now this year for Charleston, used to kick for the Florida Storm a couple of seasons ago, was in retirement. Charleston picked him up out of the retirement home and said, hey, we need a kicker. Amanda Moyer's not on the team anymore. And he said, sure. It's been kind of a rocky return to form for him here. He's 8 of his first 11 as a member of the Predators, but he was great with the Storm. His career, he's better than 91% through 2+ seasons, but hit or miss so far for Breckett in his first season for the team in South Carolina. Deep kick there, though, from him. And Duke Fennick, another guy who's had a solid year returning kicks, is only able to get out to the 25.
And now 21-7, Lone Star very much the onus is on their side to make huge plays once again. And they can make huge plays. We've seen that from Ike McBride, but can Ace Fennick make a huge play as well in their passing game? So far, 104 yards. Not a lot to show after 2.5 yards of the game, or 2.5 quarters of the game.
Charleston pass defense has been lights out in this game like they have been all season. 1st and 10. Fennick will have to throw a lot more, you would think, and there is the first catch for Deuce Fennick. The brother connection, ace to Deuce, shows up for a gain of 4.
Oh, you're right. That was his first one. First one for 4 yards. But we'll see if he throw. We might see him throw to him in those short passing situations, Tim. But if we want, or if Lone Star wants to get back into this game, 2 touchdowns down, and you only have 1.5 quarters left to go, you got to go for the big ones.
No, they've got to target those 3 standout wideouts here before too long. The time to go to McBride and Nakai is almost gone. They will go to McBride here to try to make it more doable on 3rd down. She's had a killer game. Just look at those numbers, nearly 8 yards per carry.
That is beautiful. And although that's the 8 yards per carry, kind of inflated by her huge touchdown,
Yeah.
still massive. I think before that, she was averaging 3.2. 3.2, that's almost 10 yards every 3 plays. Almost good enough for her.
3rd and 3. Fennick will throw. He will throw it out to Ike McBride. Blockers ahead.
Oh.
Sidestep. She won't get there. Needed 3. Picks up just 2. The Charleston defense was ready again. Zach Lay, Johnny Bravo, and others were there. 4th down coming up.
And not only were they ready, they were quick, because I got to say, Tim, the initial block, impressive, excellent.
Yeah.
But the tackle, that was quick. It was lightning quick, and that's what you need if you want to stop a strong power back like Ike McBride. That's how they did it.
3rd and 3. They don't even look Greg Soto's way. They try to get it to McBride. No dice. This time, Charleston does send the block, and so Jay Taylor will have no choice but to call for and make the fair catch. Visit the SFL's YouTube channel at youtube.com/SimulationFL for an archive of every game, every draft, every moment you might have missed since the Simulation Football League got its start in 2013. SFL YouTube features top 10 plays of the week, archived people behind the player segments, and all the major milestones in league history. And at this rate, that SFL YouTube page very well may feature some plays from this game. Every scoring play has been a big play. Look out, top 10. This game's coming for you. Here goes Swearingen trying to continue to climb the leaderboards. He picks up just 3.
Yep, and now I feel like Charleston is going to start handing the ball a lot more to Keith Swearingen for the remainder of the game. You're up 2 scores. Now your goal is to eat the clock and potentially score, keep the lead, play good defense when the ball hands over back to Lone Star, and yeah, it looks like they're positioning for another run play.
Swearingen, top 20 all times in carries, yards, and touchdowns. They will throw it to him here. He dropped it. It was nearly a pick. That could have been catastrophic for Charleston. Instead, it falls to the ground. Mickey McGuire had his hands on that tip drill, and he could not haul it in.
That was 2 seconds away from disaster, and in an alternate universe, that would have been a pick and the momentum to Lone Star's side, but you're happy if you're Charleston that didn't go any worse than it did.
Swearingen running a little bit of interference in a good way, and for poor Gunny, that's when Ura becomes ouch. That could have been 6 for him. Instead, it's now 3rd down and 7 for the opposition. Charleston will spread it out with a tight end. Brew drops back, throws it short, daylight for Da Vinci, and he's tackled short of the sticks. He had all day to run, but the Lone Star defense rallies, and Nate Hall is once again in the scene of the crime.
Well, now they're 4th and inches. Logically, I'd say just punt it, because if you don't make this, you're going to give good ball position for Charleston, for Lone Star. But in my heart, Tim, I wish they'd go for it.
Yeah, you're right. If you fail to get this somehow, then Lone Star gets it across midfield, so you understand why you see the punt team on, even though it's not the fun play. 2.5 left in the 3rd. Punt is away. Here comes Fennick. He can return these. He'll have some room outside.
Fennick.
Who's Fennick with some space, and he's taken down at the Lone Star 42. Great return from Deuce. We've talked about Jay Taylor, but Fennick, Deuce Fennick, that is, 7th best average in kick returns, 9th best average in punt returns, 6th in punt return yardage so far this season. He has been very good returning kicks for Lone Star, and that is a great way to flip the field. It was a decent punt from Saddle, but a great flip back of field from Deuce Fennick to try to get his brother Ace and company in rhythm.
Absolutely. They're now in the 42-yard line. Incredible starting position for potential 14-point comeback.
Charleston averages 20 points conceded, and they've given up just 7 almost through 3 quarters. Fennick will throw it short. Ike McBride out of the backfield, again breaks out of a tackle, is able to pick up just 3. Not able to get through that second wave of Charleston defenders, and that's really been the story of the game so far, Mark. The second wave for Charleston has come up big.
Absolutely. And you got to credit the secondary of Charleston with Johnny Bravo and Corey on the corners, Corey Menor. Their coverage doesn't allow Ace Fennec to make any good, throws downfield.
They have sweltered this Lone Star passing game all day long. 2nd and 7, Fennec will throw
Oh, no.
right into traffic, and it's picked off again. 3rd interception for Ace Fennec. That one's taken away by Zach Lay, his 5th pick of the season, and Ace Fennec can't believe what he's seeing.
I can't believe it. 3rd interception from Ace Fennec of all people. Yeah.
Guy who had thrown 5 interceptions through 5 weeks has thrown 3 through 3 quarters against this Pred defense. They have lived up to the billing, no doubt about it. 113 passing yards for Ace Fennec and 3 interceptions. Drew to try to put the nail in the coffin. Hit as he throws. He's nearly taken down, just barely able to unleash that. Tina Begin was a monster in that first quarter. Haven't heard from her too much recently, but a great pressure play. 2nd down.
Absolutely. And you collapse the line like that. You don't allow space for the opposing quarterback. And, that's how you sort of start the tempo and getting the ball back to your team.
Tina Begin now, the most eminent member of the SFL from the great state of Rhode Island. Going over to join Al here in Lone Star. They both played in Queen City last year. Al taking on a bigger role here with the Glory this year. Bullet from Drew, another first down. TD Drew has looked fantastic in this game, and Ken McCarrow has really helped him do that. First down, Charleston.
Yeah, these receivers, it's a complete package. Look at this route running. And he just runs in the only open space in the field, and then TD Drew, with a fine touch, just places it where only Ken McCarrow can catch. And that is just a fine play right there.
Officially 6 catches for about 120 yards for Ken McCarrow. And shout out to Tom Rahman for running the stat truck by himself today. Ray Colson, we love you. Hope you're doing okay. 1st and 10, out to Keith Swearingen out of the backfield. Pickup of just a couple. Nate Hall is once again on the stop. He's been everywhere so far in this game. Again, all 5 starters in this defensive secondary for Lone Star have at least 1 pick. Same deal on the other side for Charleston, though they have added to that total so far today with 3 takeaways. But unfortunately for the Preds, they've also turned the ball over twice themselves, so they are not helping that turnover differential that they had, which was one of the worst in the league at -4 entering action today. 2nd and 7, McCarrow again with the catch.
Beautiful.
McCarrow again with the first down. No one can take the engine out of Ken McCarrow today.
I know, and he has been the key factor. Not only is he the X factor, he is probably the only factor so far. All other receivers have been catching the ball for less than 40 yards. He is the only one above 40. Actually, he has 187. So incredible from him so far.
Outside of that one big play, Buchanan Simons has done next to nothing. Here they go on the ground. Swearingen picks up just a couple. And you see that in the strategy for this game, Mark, in this league, I should say, and you can speak to this better than I can as a standout in the secondary yourself. If a number 1 corner is going to match up with a number 1 wide receiver, which is what Buchanan Simons is, no question, if Mickey McGuire is going to shadow him, then you'll take that matchup for Lone Star. But Charleston will take the matchup on the other side if they're going to get Ken McCarrow on Bo Martin Jr. And so far, Bo has not known a way to stop Ken McCarrow. Last play of the 3rd, Drew floats it over the middle, caught again, short of the sticks, and once again, Freddie Trammell is there to make the stop. Swearingen with the snag out of the backfield. Done with 3 quarters here from Denton, Texas. The home team down by 2 scores. This is the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music, live on Twitch. Thanks so much for joining us here on this Sunday evening from Texas, alongside Mark Lopez with Tom Rahman and Cameron Irvine. Tim Hackett here with you live from Medal of Honor Field. Our pleasure to be here with you. Charleston is putting on a show, especially defensively. Can they put the nail in the coffin here to start off the 4th quarter and get well on their way to snagging a key road win in week 6? 3rd and 3, the give to Keith Swearingen. He is stopped in the backfield. Another big tackle from Jay Mart. He has been tremendous in this game. 4th down coming up for the Preds.
And that is definitely a key stop right there, because it's going to be very tough if the opponent goes up 21 points. Although even though they scored here, and they're still going up by 3 scores potentially, because you can't score this with 2 touchdowns alone. But still, pivotal for them. Takes off the pressure off their offense. but still, the pressure is still on the offense. They got to make up for a lot of points.
No question. Brad Breckett, after a couple of years of retirement, comes on to attempt the field goal, and he knocks it through from 31. We mentioned it had been some up and down for him. Third-year total kicker, former kicker for the Florida Storm, was great with them. He's now 9 of 12 during his time with Charleston, but critically, Mark, to your point, it is now a 3-score lead for the Preds. First made field goal of the game for Breckett. He's 4 for 4 on his total kicks so far. He's been good on kickoffs as well, because we know what Deuce Fennick can do trying to return the ball. Big opportunity for Deuce to try to spring some life into his team. Turnable here from the 3. Oh, and he is absolutely blasted at the end of that return. Fantastic coverage from Charleston. Looks like Will Hammer, one of the defensive linemen. Lone Star will have to start off from the 25. Coverage of the Simulation Football League's 17th season on For the Fans continues Sunday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern with a South Division tilt between Mexico City and Houston, followed by Johnny Pickler welcoming his old team Louisiana to his new home in London. The 25, Mexico City in action right now on the For the Fans Twitch page. Drew is plastered as he throws, or check that, Fennick, excuse me, is plastered as he throws. Joseph Cebulka, who we have not heard from at all in this game, Mark, with a big play, second down.
Oh, absolutely. That was, I think that's like a coverage sack because he had time. He had about 3 seconds, but he was kind of blindsided because the sack, he didn't even attempt to evade the sack. It was just taken down and not a way to start your 3-score comeback.
This coverage next week includes Florida and St. Louis and Denver versus Baltimore. It all comes your way next Sunday on For the Fans. Second and 10 for Fennick. Floats it. It's caught again by Adam Williams. This is his biggest game of the season. His 4th catch, if memory serves. Maybe make it his 5th catch. He had just 7 through the first 5 weeks. None last week, like we've said. And with these wide receivers being on lockdown, they've tried to target Jack Brown to minimal effect.
Right, and absolutely, Adam Williams also the only receiver with more than 30. He has 50 this game, leading his team, 5 targets, 4 receptions. Everyone else, not a lot of reception despite the amount of targets.
It's crazy. 4 catches for Williams. The other 4 pass catchers have 4 combined. There goes McBride, and she is stopped right at the line to gain the magic yellow line. Zach Lay was there. Jack Brown was there. The best tacklers in the league, like we said. He went over 1,000 tackles in his career earlier this season. The 6th SFL player all time to surpass 1,000 career tackles. And Lone Star is going to punt it away on 4th and inches. No challenge coming from Al Begin and company.
I don't agree with this.
With the game hanging in the balance, Mark Zuderveld will send it away. Jay Taylor has already returned 1 today. Great coverage this time, though. I think that's Al Begin right on cue playing special teams. It sure is. The guy who's willing to do a lot for his team, as we've seen over the last couple of years, back with Queen City as well. Great play by him on special teams. I mean, you go back to you. I mean, 4th and inches, down by 3 scores in the 4th quarter, decide to punt, questionable, right?
You have a power back in Ike McBride. Inches is nothing.
And a fullback in Suna Nakai, who is known to pick up yards over the course of his career. Here's 1st and 10. Swearingen has nowhere to go. I mean, even if this is a loss for Lone Star, and they're down by 3 scores here in the 4th quarter, they have absolutely flummoxed Keith Swearingen in this game. Look at that, 43 rushing yards.
Yep, absolutely. And not only did they flummox him, I feel like they've almost always caught him at the line of scrimmage.
2 yards per carry. It's insane. He has had nowhere to go, but on offense, the big plays for Charleston are the difference. As we've already said, here's 2nd and 10. We'll go the other way. Decent hole that time, but it closes up immediately. Short gain, and a quick stop by Mickey McGuire.
Yeah, but that keeps the clock running, and you're not going to like it if you're Lone Star.
Nothing they could do about it, and why would TD Drew and company try to air it out anymore? They've already done their damage through the air with big plays from Macaro and Simons, and now they just need to nurse the lead. They will throw it, though, on 3rd and 8. A bullet pass. It's caught again short by Lyric Da Vinci. That play has not worked ever in this game, Mark. They've thrown it to him short of the sticks every single time. That's like a cardinal sin in offensive play calling, and Lone Star will say, thanks, we'll take that. 4th down coming up.
Right, and I mean, the coverage is there. Throw it to, he's not even positioned beyond the line of scrimmage. Typically you do that when, it's a one-on-one position and you find a spot in the, or sorry, a zone coverage, and there's a huge spot in the middle. Not in this case, very tight in the middle. Not a lot of room for him to convert on the first down. But still, you're up 3 scores. You got, if you're Lone Star, you need to pull out the stops, Tim. And if you're Charleston, you don't need to put that as much effort. Still, you want to just put enough to hold on to this lead.
Fourth quarter, it's now or never for Lone Star. APM Music is unrivaled music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. APM Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League. First down for Ike McBride and company. She picks up just one, and that is not a sweet soundtrack for Lone Star. To explore their library and find the perfect tracks for your projects, visit apmmusic.com. We're excited to have APM Music along for the ride here with the Simulation Football League here in Season 17. And again, that is sour-sounding music for Lone Star, trailing by 17 with 7 minutes left. They get a gain of 1 on the ground. That's not what the doctor ordered. They go. They'll spread it out with 3 wides and a tight end. McBride sidecar with Ace Fennick. Fennick will bomb it right seam, and it's caught. Big game for Deuce Fennick. He breaks out of a tackle, and there he goes. Ace to Deuce for 6. Another big play in this game. That's good for 66 yards, and Lone Star is not dead yet.
Oh boy, Deuce Fennick, there was a point in the game in the third quarter on the bench. Ike McBride in the chat telling Deuce to go break a big one, and boy did he break for a big one in this one. Oh, Tim, this is another touchdown, another score that's gone for beyond 50 yards.
All touchdowns in this game have been better than 50
66
yards. 66 yards that time for the Lone Star Glory. That's insane, Mark. I have never seen anything like this. Of course, that one field goal on the short drive from Breckett kind of ruins that narrative as the kick is up and good from Hugh Purvis. That field goal, I was going to say, the Breckett field goal, 8 plays, 37 yards, and a 31-yard field goal a few minutes ago, earlier here in the second half. But other than that, every point that has been scored in this game has been on a big play of longer than 50 yards, including 1 punt return touchdown. You talk about explosive, that's what you got right here.
Talk about what the doctor ordered and Ace Fennick delivered.
Absolutely. Ace to Deuce links up for just the second time this season here in week 6. Decent return out to the 30 for Charleston with a short kick from Hugh Purvis. And now the script is clear, Mark. The Lone Star defense needs to make another stop for them to have a chance.
Absolutely. And now at this point, it's 2 scores. And now the question is, because I think, Tim, it all boils down to who can make the big play. Lone Star needs 2 big plays. When can they make those big plays, and will they have time for it?
It's the second ever meeting between these two franchises and the first in a couple of years. Drew will throw wide open. It's caught. Lyric Da Vinci has a step behind the defense. Can they do it again? One man to beat. Stopped at the goal line. What a play by Albert Begin. They needed 70 yards. Lyric gets them just 69. But Charleston with another huge play.
Oh man, that was smooth running between the 2 defenders. They were not looking. They let their man go. And boy, what an opportunity. Lone Star defense letting down their offense after an incredible play by Fennick to Deuce. And now TD, Drew, and his Drew crew just putting out 69 yards. If that became a touchdown, that's another one for a storyboard right now.
Absolutely, and instead, Keith Swearingen will take that. They give it to him. They will on 1st and goal, and he walks into the end zone. Touchdown, Charleston. Rushing touchdown number 50 in the vaunted career of cool Keith Swearingen, and the Predators respond instantly. It's a 3-score game again.
I mean, if you look at all the drives that have happened, all the scoring drives, a bunch or at least half of all the scoring drives that ended in touchdowns only were either 1 or 2 plays. So, Lone Star, you gotta make for those drives 2-play scoring drives. I mean, that's your solution. That's the only way back into this game or to win it.
Yeah, the pessimistic view is that didn't waste any time on the comeback trail for Lone Star. So in theory, they'll get the ball back with north of 6 minutes to go. But The downside of that is they let him score way too quick, and it's now once again a 17-point lead for Charleston. You talk about ruining the narrative. That just ends that whole every scoring play, every touchdown has been longer than 50 yards, so they had to just go ruin it for us because Lyric Da Vinci couldn't quite get that final yard. Albert Begin stopped the touchdown, and then moments later, Keith Swearingen punches it in, his 4th touchdown on the ground of the season. But I mean, like you said, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day because it's still a huge play that sets up the touchdown and one of the longest plays from scrimmage for Lyric Da Vinci in his career. He had just 150 receiving yards through 5 weeks. He's got nearly 100 so far in this game after that 69-yard link up from T.D. Drew.
Yep. Still though, 6 minutes. They still have their 3 timeouts. That's going to be a masterclass of clock management if they want to get into this, in addition to all the other right things that need to happen.
How about Drew? Nearly twice as many passing yards this week as he had last week, and 2 touchdowns after he didn't have any last week. Lone Star will stick on the ground. This has been their formula for success. Like McBride picks up just a couple. Before last carry, Mark, she had 111 official rushing yards. That was her total last week on 29 carries, an average of 3.83 yards per run last week for 111 yards. This week, she's averaging better than 7.5 yards per run and 117 yards. Of course, as you said, that 167-yard touchdown certainly helps that average. 5.5 left in regulation. Like again, looking to throw. He'll throw it short. It's caught, and again, short of the sticks. That's a play that Charleston has run all game. Dave Axis hauls it in, just his second grab.
And on the bright side, though, we said this is not worked out for this specific play, but on the bright side, that was just on 2nd down, and they still have another chance to convert on the 1st down for this. Technically 2, but they want to convert on it now.
Just north of 5 minutes left in regulation time. Lone Star chasing 17 points at home. Fennick into traffic, hits the back of the defender. It's Josh Reese, who had the first of 3 Charleston interceptions in this game. That was a risky one from Fennick, and a decision now coming up for them. Zuderveld is going to come out.
No. I don't think this is the right decision. This is not playing to win because you have 3 scores to make up for. Unless you gotta play incredibly godly in defense. And the last drive was not any close to godly.
Oh, it was the exact opposite. And you're right, you've got 3 scores to make up and only 5 minutes in which to do it. It's literally now or never. There's no time with which to play. Instead, Zuderveld will still punt it away to Jay Taylor, who got things started for Charleston with a punt return touchdown. That after a first quarter in which there wasn't a ton of offense, that really ignited the offense for both sides. If you're just joining us, happy to have you with us from Denton, Texas. Tim Hackett, Mark Lopez in the booth, Tom Rahman in the truck, Cameron Irvine behind the scenes. This game has exploded. Every touchdown that has been scored except one has been of 50 yards or greater, and the one that was not of 50 yards or greater was set up by a 69-yard pass from T.D. Drew to Lyric Da Vinci. Here goes Keith Swearingen, who just scored the most recent touchdown for the Preds. Been a tough game for him there, south of 50 yards. Bobo Caudill, the defensive lineman for Lone Star, makes the stop after he spent his first 3 years in the SFL as an offensive lineman. Lone Star, like we said, had to remake pretty much their entire defense. Tina Begin and Bobo Caudill coming in to play defensive line. Al Begin and Nate Hall coming into the secondary. A very new look for this new coaching staff for the Glory as they try to get back into the postseason for the 3rd straight year. If they lose this game, Mark, it'll be a tough hole to climb out of at 2-4. Swearingen. Nice run for him there, and he picks up 5. I've said it before, Mark, and we've seen it. 6-6 is good enough to get teams in the playoffs. Charleston last year was 6-6 and made the playoffs. But if you lose this game, these 2 teams are both 2-3. The loser obviously will fall to 2-4. To me, that seems like a deep hole to climb out of. You have to win. You have to flip it around and go 4-2 at least to give yourself a chance over the back half of the season. And that is a difficult standard to hold yourself to. Go again to Swearingen. 3 straight runs, and Lone Star is ready for that one. Big time stop by this Glory defense. Jay Mart with another big play, but the clock continues to run. 3-score game coming up on 3 minutes left in regulation. Time is a ticking for the Lone Star Glory.
And although that was a solid defensive hold by them, at the end of the story, that ate up 2 minutes of the clock. And that is a lot of time if you're trying to make up for this much points. And they will have to play out of their mind, Ace Fennec especially. We'll see if he finds another connection to Deuce for another huge touchdown. Can Ike McBride break away for another massive run? But if you're Charleston, those are the kind of things you've seen once and you'll never let happen again.
You're right, though. It's mission accomplished for Charleston because that that offensive possession took about 2.5 minutes off the clock. It ends up being a punt in short order with not a lot of yards gained on offense. But that's exactly what you were looking for on that offensive possession if you weren't going to score and completely seal up the game. Now Lone Star needs 3 scores. They have only 3 minutes in which to find those 3 scores. Not a lot of time at all. Their center. Fennec will throw it out immediately. He has got a deep shot. Greg Soto, the Cuban missile erupts. Another big play, just what Lone Star needed inside the 40 on one play. Oh, welcome to the game, Greg Soto. His second catch. Lone Star right back to the line. Fennec flings it over the middle, and a sliding catch is made by Soto. Picks up 8 that time.
Surprised he ran a different route that time.
Surprised he was able to even stay on his feet after that long run. Will they go to him again? They will. Fennec for Soto. It's tipped. Great defensive play to save a touchdown.
Same route, though, and Charleston read it incredibly well. They knew they were going to throw to him as soon as he was out of the line and running that route. And so putting a hand on the ball, basically, on the trajectory. Great defensive play. And Lone Star got to drop a new position, drop a new play.
That was Josh Reese, the free safety on the coverage. He had a fantastic game last week with 12 tackles and a pick. Had a pick earlier in this game as well. 3rd and 2, 2:21 left in regulation. Fennec will throw this way. Short pass is caught. Deuce Fennec. That's enough to move the sticks, and a smart play call there from Lone Star.
Absolutely. It stops the clock. I feel like they still feel the pressure, though. It's 2 minutes. They've already eaten up 30 seconds, and as the more we get closer to the end of this game, every single second is going to weigh more than the last.
Earlier catch for Greg Soto went for 36 yards, Tom Rahman telling us. From the 26-yard line. Lone Star needs a ton of points, and they need them now. A 2-back set this time. Fennec feels the pressure. He nearly goes down. John Lally off of the edge, number 69 in the white and black. The rookie was Charleston's first-round pick this year. Had a sack earlier in this game. Great time for a pressure there on Ace Fennec, 2nd down.
Absolutely incredible pressure right there. And the only silver lining you could say, if you're trying to look for any silver lining, was that it stopped the clock. But you still got to go for it.
Back-to-back weeks with a sack for the rookie John Lally. Give him 3 now in his SFL career. 2nd and 10 from the 26. Coming up on the 2-minute warning. 17-point deficit for the Glory at home. Fennec into traffic. Nice. It's caught, somehow juggled and caught by Greg Soto. And they get it off before the 2-minute warning. They had it. They do somehow.
They're going to.
Fennec throws it off, and it's caught short of the sticks. What a play. That was Ross McGinnis, one of the second stringers. We saw him earlier. 2 minutes left in regulation. Lone Star's offense has come to play. Down by 17 at home. This is the SFL presented by APM Music on Twitch. We're in for a photo finish if this start is anything to go by. Tim Hackett and Mark Lopez here with you live from Denton, Texas. Tom Rahman, Cameron Irvine are here with us as well. 2nd and 1 from the 5. Lone Star needs 17 points. They have 2 minutes with which to work. Fennec will throw it short. Jumping catch made by McBride. She comes back and she stopped short. She had that ball past the line mark.
They're still going to have to go because, 3rd and 1, time still running. They got to go.
From the 5, Fennec floats it up all day. Passes caught. Touchdown, Dave Axis. That drive for Lone Star is much more like it. 4th touchdown of the season for the Diva. And Lone Star is not dead. They've got some life here at home.
Absolutely not dead, but still struggling, still grasping for air. Down 10 points potentially after this extra point conversion, which means that is 2 possessions. You still have your 3 timeouts, which is actually a very good outcome from this one drive. Still have your 3 timeouts that you can use on Lone Star's next possession potentially. But then you still got to figure out an answer to after your possession and score. You got to go for one of those offside kicks potentially.
Longest drive of the day in terms of plays and in terms of yards for Lone Star. 9 plays, 75 yards, capped off by that 5-yard passing touchdown from Fennec to Dave Axis. Purvis hits the extra point, so now it's a 10-point game with 100 seconds left in regulation. To your point earlier,
boy.
Mark, we have not seen drives like that from either team so far in this game because neither team has had to have a drive like that. Critical onside kick for Purvis right into the hands of the Preds, and that might just about seal it. Guess who? Josh Reese. He's had his fingerprints all over this game, and a big-time kick recovery there to try to seal it for his team.
Right, and I mean they still got the 3 timeouts. Tim, sorry, is that 2 timeouts on the heads-up display? I think that's 2. So they still got 2.
I don't remember. I think they've got all 3, but either way, needing 10 points, even once they use them here, it's tough to overcome. Swearigan is thrown down in the backfield. Great stop by Bobo Caudill, and there's the confirmation that was the first timeout taken by Lone Star. But I mean, either way, I can hear you doing the calculus even from over here, Mark. And even with 3 timeouts, it's going to be difficult for Lone Star, even if they stop Keith Swearigan and company again.
Oh yeah, because a field goal at the very minimum is going to be the result of this. 13 points with what, under a minute, probably a minute.
Yeah, and if Charleston can make up some positive yards, then maybe that'll be a field goal for Breckett. That's better from Swearigan, gets the 4 yards back that he lost. It would be a 55-yarder for Brad Breckett right now. I think that is way outside of the range that he has showed so far in his return to the SFL, so it probably would be a punt if Charleston doesn't get anything from here. I think they need at least 5 yards to even think about going for a field goal, but even with that, they may not even try it. Regardless, long road back for Lone Star, down by 10. 92 seconds left. Drew will give it to the up back. Here goes Sutherland, and a nice gain for Terrell Sutherland. He picks up 3, his first carry of the game. The Lone Star will use its last timeout.
Well, at the very least, Charleston has played with so much focus this game, Tim. So much, they felt the heartbreak of the last 2 games. They saw their mistakes and turned things around. We've talked about it. They started 2-0, only to be brought down 3 games in a row, 3 losses in a row. But we mentioned this earlier, or I mentioned this to you before the game. It's not the teams who do big throughout the game that are great teams. It's the teams who, despite being brought down a lot, they can get back up. And boy, what a way to get back up.
Speaking of bringing it down, Zach Lay with a tremendous play. It's just a net of about 31 on that punt from Wally Saddle, but with Deuce Fennec not even trying to return, Lay just waits and fields the fly ball to center on 1 bounce. And that puts Lone Star to the kibosh, if you will. That is going to be a difficult hole for them to dig out of at this point. They're not out yet. No timeouts left. 121 left. And Charleston jumps off sides. Free play for Fennec. He'll float it up. Oh, that could have been picked. Fennec, Deuce Fennec that is, had the step behind the defense. Johnny Bravo with one-on-one coverage almost picked it off, but it's not going to matter. It'll be a free 5 yards for the Lone Star Glory on offense. That was Lally. Was. Key mistake for the rookie defensive end. Charleston's first-round pick in the most recent SFL drafts. 12th overall pick. Trying to help reinforce this defensive line. We mentioned Charleston, and Jacob Clear was on record, the new head coach. Spent last year with San Diego, their first year in the league, now joining up with Charleston after they really revamped their coaching staff and their front office under new ownership in the offseason. He was on record as saying, look, we're happy that we have so many guys coming back in terms of the player personnel. And he's right. Can that experience come into play for him here? Fennec bullets it. Ooh. What a pass and a great catch by Dave Axis out to the 27. And of 18, Ace Fennec that is, will hustle back up to the line. Spread it out. Ace fires left seam, and it's caught again. Ziggy Ronick on that catch all the way out to midfield. First time we've heard from Ziggy since the first quarter. 50 seconds left, and Fennec will spike it to let him change out of this formation.
I mean, 50 seconds left, so they're down 10 points. If you really need to go for it, if your minimum here is a field goal, but then, it's going to be tough. We're looking too far into the future. We're considering all the infinite possibilities. and the only possibility after this drive if he scores an onside kick.
Remember, a non-roster kicker on this Lone Star team makes it harder for you to hit deep field goals from midfield. Fennick has all day, will fire it out to the sideline. Soto was there, but he was way out of bounds. Lally at the end of that run had some pressure against Richard Not Antrim, the offensive tackle, the right tackle, was able to provide some pressure from Fennick's blind side, and he threw it away. Third down coming up.
Ooh, interesting stat from our statistician Tom Raman. Only one field goal in all of today's action.
Kickers have been perfect, but only one field goal attempt from Brad Breckett. You never know. That field goal could end up being the difference in this game, the way it's shaken out. 10-point lead for the Preds, 44 seconds left. Fennick's pass is caught, but short of the first down line again by Adam Williams. That brings up 4th and 1, no choice for Lone Star. They've got to go for it. They've got to pick this up. 30 seconds left. Fennick takes his time. 4 wides and a tight end. 28 seconds left.
What is happening?
Wow, what? They wasted 5 seconds. Fennick will fling it. It's caught again by Adam Williams. First down, out to the 31-yard line, but only 20 seconds left. Back they go. They can't afford to waste 5 seconds again, but they're on track to do so. 10 seconds left at a 10-point deficit. Fennick will finally spike it. Mark, they wasted 10 seconds of dead time with those last 2 plays. That can't happen.
Oh, yeah. We were talking about clock management being impeccable for a potential comeback. It is looking far away for this game to be a Lone Star victory. It is rough. 9 seconds. You're looking down the face of a loss right now, but you still got to go for it for this one play potentially. Go for it. Go for a big one.
You need it now. From the Hail Mary set, Fennick will step up and throw. 5 seconds on the clock to the back of the end zone. It sails through everybody's hands. Reese was on the coverage. Zanardi was there. Soto will get the target, but only 3 seconds left. It's all academic now, Mark. No chance for Lone Star to pull this off.
Absolutely, and now it is just for formality's sake that we're lining up. If you're Lone Star, let's end this on a positive note. You know, still a lot of things to learn from this. You know, let's see if they can convert and score, but you go back to the locker room after this. Things might have to change, or things might have to be improved upon.
Final play of the game. Can Ace Fennick and company salvage something as what's been a tough day for their offense? Back of the end zone, it's incomplete. The 3-game losing streak is history for the Charleston Predators. They beat this glory franchise for the first time in team history. Lone Star will fall to 2-4. Charleston improves to 3-3 as we hit the halfway mark. The final score from Denton: Charleston 31, Lone Star 21.
And what about that? 372 passing yards from D.D. Drew, way above his usual average this season. He played lights out, at least for his standards, and what a time to play lights out. You know, we said early on, pivotal game for both teams, pivotal for both their records and for their standings, and for going into the playoffs potentially 6 weeks from now. And, you know, D.D. Drew just pulled it off.
100 more yards in this game for Drew than he typically averaged through the first 5 weeks. Averaged 276, 372 for him here today, and a couple of just fantastic throws. Here's one of them, Buchanan Simons with that 60-plus yard touchdown catch and run. The big play offense for Charleston. We've seen this from Simons over the last couple of years, but we haven't seen it from the rest of them. But all 3 of their main pass catchers, all 4 of them really, if you count the punt return touchdown from Jay Taylor, they all stepped up and made big plays for their quarterback. In a week after they only scored 1 touchdown, only 13 points against a great Fort Worth defense and a 16-13 loss. This Charleston offense this week was dynamic. This is what Lone Star looked like last year, what Charleston looked like this year. All of these big plays, different guys getting involved, Drew spreading the rock around, big touchdowns. That's what Lone Star did to get them into the playoffs last year, and that's how Charleston beat Lone Star here today.
Yep, and that's the mark of a great team. 3-3 now. They're looking to restart sort of their journey towards getting into the playoffs. Their strong start, and congratulations for the victory.
2-4 is by no means impossible for a team to overcome, but like we said, Lone Star is going to have to play almost perfect down the stretch of the season. They need to flip that record around and go 4-2 or better. Meanwhile, for Charleston, 3-3 is a lot better. They know if they just play 500 the rest of the season, they will have a chance to make it into the playoffs. once again. I mean, we know that Charleston came into this season expecting a tough schedule. Hasn't manifested so far for them after the first half of the year. They are 3-3. TD Drew is the player of the game, Mark, and a well-deserved honor for the 6th-year Signal Call.
Absolutely.
That's going to do it for us on this SFL Sunday Showcase. Thanks so much for joining us all day. 4 more games coming your way across our network tomorrow as we wrap up Week 6 of the Simulation Football League. For our statisticians and our friends, Tom Rahman and Rochelle Colston, and for our commissioner and executive producer, Cameron Irvine, my partner, Mark Lopez, I've been Tim Hackett. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you next time. Until then, so long.